Cool. Appreciate you guys taking some time out of your busy schedules to come and learn with us. I'm actually most excited out of all the events that we've done. Honestly, this is the one that I'm most excited about. There's a few reasons for that. This is a safe place. We all come with different dynamics and beliefs and stuff like that. In my case, I'm going to use my dictionary and my belief system. Doesn't mean you have to receive it. It means you guys can understand some of what I'm trying to articulate. Then reflect it back how you will and have it be relevant to you, however it's supposed to be relevant. Does that make sense, guys? One of the things that happened for me is I went on a spiritual journey to try to figure myself out. And so one of the things that really changed my life was that journey. And part of being able to unleash, and why we chose this is obviously it's a new year. I don't know how much I'm like a New Year's resolution guy as much as I just am a resolution guy. And I'm about just always improving and becoming better each and every day. You don't have to wait until 2027 to make that happen in your life. You should start today if you haven't. You're worth it in every sense of the word. Okay, there's a purpose and an intent to why you're here. And there's so many people that's God's intended for you to serve. And the only way that you're going to be able to serve them is to maximize and fulfill on your purpose, is to maximize yourself. And there's so many things that hold us back from our ability to be unleashed at our full potential. And land development is super, super hard. That's one of the things that I learned. I was interviewed a while back, and they, in that interview, they asked me a question about what do you love about land development? And what is it about land development that makes you want to keep coming? You know? And as I sat there and thought, I realized I actually hate land development. Truth. Okay? But I love what land development did to me. Hard things make the best out of you. And it was when you run into a problem and you run into conflict with those around you, what issues of your own come to the surface? How fast do you turn selfish? And those things started to matter to me more than land development. And so I grew to love land development through the process of how hard it is. And because of that, one of the things that I wanted to unleash for you guys is your full potential in land development and success. And so really what we've been trying to do here at McCleery Company and with these events is to give you guys insight, because one of the things that I told God in my case on my spiritual journey is if I got there and I was successful, I would make sure that I wasn't proprietary with it, that I wasn't selfish with it, that I used what He blessed me to figure out through inspiration and experience to bless as many people as I can. So this is our effort to do that, to help serve you guys in the land development industry, whether you're at the bottom trying to figure your way up or if you're at the top. There's individuals in this room right now that are at the top, and there's individuals that are just trying to discover. They got the curiosity thing going on. And that's really relevant. And so what we try to do is we try to hold these events every month and give somebody that we know is an expert 90 minutes to really dive into the science. Most of the things that I've gone to have been all about networking and different things. And yeah, that's a byproduct of this, but it's not the focus. The focus is you. It's the information and it's the experience that you guys can have, that you actually leave us better than when you came. And that's super important. So Steve is an awesome individual. He's one of the best guys in the space. And this is a super comfortable, what's up, brother? This is a super comfortable environment.
Whoever out of your seat.
And we understand you're all professionals and you have things to do. And if you need to get up and leave for a minute to come back, feel free to do that. Don't have it be awkward for you. Okay? We don't have a problem with that. And just understand that our goal is to serve you. It's not to enroll you or win you or anything. It's to serve you. And if enrollment happens through that process, what a blessing. Super grateful for that. But that's not my goal. My goal is to fulfill on what I told him I would. Okay? So I just want you guys to understand what's really going on here. Now, Steve, we ran into each other a while ago. He worked with Wadsworth. Did we poach you or not poach you? Should we just say we poached you?
I think that's accurate.
So we enrolled him ultimately to come and work for me and help on the acquisition side. And then we were in a meeting one day, and he'd been continuing his self-evolution and his self-growth process, and started taking classes to go into therapy and different aspects. And he can talk into that. I'm not going to steal his thunder about his story. But in a meeting with him, I was sitting there, and I'm all about vibration and understanding what's right and where I'm supposed to be of involvement in somebody's life and where I'm just encumbering somebody from where God intends them to keep growing. And I was in a meeting with him, and I looked at him and I said, why are we here? Because I knew he had something bigger to do. And so from that meeting, we kind of cried it out. We're both babies a little bit there. And he ultimately has gone and done some amazing work. Both with, he's unbiased, but he's, to set the stage, he's worked with the top industry individuals. Well, I'm not saying land development, but I'm just saying from celebrities to billionaires to help them get their mind right. And so I'm just lucky enough to have him in my inner circle and to invite him to come and be with you guys. So I want to pass the time to him, and then stick around. We're going to have pizza afterwards that you guys can have. And we're trying to feed you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and also physically. So with that, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand first. And then we'd like to bring you a mic so that the people online can hear you as well. Does that make sense? And so hold your question for a sec while Kaysen, raise your hand in the back. He's going to take over the mic, and he's going to bring it around to you guys as you guys have questions. So appreciate it. I'm going to pass it over to Steve, and he can start running with it. Sound good, Steve?
Yep, let's party. So, to be honest, I'm actually just here for the free pizza, but we'll make this work. So a couple things I want to name. So I spent my decade in commercial real estate mostly kind of on the brokerage side. And so I often heard people talking, I'm like, yeah, I don't care, just get to it, right? And so I think in that spirit, for our ability to get to it, so we're going to be talking about emotion. It's a thing. So if you're ready for like the hype speech, like let's freaking go, you're going to do this. You won't get that from me. There's a million YouTube videos. They have great music behind them and are edited well. Watch one every morning. It will inspire you, kind of. But we are going to talk about some emotion, right? And so because it's actually a big part of everything you're doing career-wise, the deal making you're doing, how you're transacting with people, how you're interacting, how you're building your office, your company, your clients, pulling people in, negotiating, all of it. So if everyone do me a quick favor, pull out your phone. And you are welcome to leave it out the entire time and not listen to me. So you now have a hall pass. So if you think like someone's thinking you're like whoever brought you is like, Steve's going to look over and be like, you're not watching or whatever. So I'm going to have you send 2 texts right now. So the first text you are going to send to me, this is a commitment I will make you. I live in confidential space all of the time, and I'll be honest, I don't actually care that I have your number. So 801-647-1880. If you need that a second time, 801-647-1880. Real talk, that's just my personal cell phone number. I actually don't care who you are. The reason I want to give you that is you might want to ask a question that you want to get answered today that you don't want to ask out loud to everyone in this room. So we'll have some time for questions at the end. I'll just pull those up anonymously. So I'll just say, hey, someone in this group has this question. So if there's something you want to ask around any of the emotion, mental health stuff we do right now, and you're like, I'm sitting here with my two buddies at work and I actually don't want to say out loud, like, what if you've been depressed forever and this shit doesn't work? Or what if I'm going through a super messy divorce and that's taking up my emotional space? What advice would you give me? Or anything like that. You can text it to me anonymously, and that's how we'll kind of answer that question. The second text I want you to send is to whoever got you here. And I don't mean who invited you to this McCleery event. I mean that all of us have lived enough life and had enough struggles and difficulty that you should either be behind bars somewhere, in a gutter somewhere, 6 feet under somewhere, or lost in the woods, who knows where, right? So I want you to think of one person along this professional journey for you that really has helped you move forward. And I want you to send them a text of gratitude right now. Just, hey, just thought about you today and I want you to know I'm grateful for. Doesn't have to be huge and long. Just send them the text, I'm just grateful for. So not hypothetical, like literally send it to them right now. Thank you for giving me a shot. Thank you for pulling me in. Thank you for giving my first opportunity. Thank you for giving me some advice when I needed it. So it's not fully what we're going to focus on today, but gratitude is actually a very powerful tool, both in building relationships and also in keeping your energy in alignment. Text sent? Awesome. So I'm going to invite everybody to stand up and come up here with me. You won't need your notebook, don't worry. And as you come up here, I want you to just wander. It'll be a little tight, there's enough of us, right? By the way, you can step on all of my houses. Don't worry, they won't break. You will not hurt their feelings. And I want you to step by whatever image, whatever house kind of represents the beginning of your career. So when you first came into the real estate game. So come on and just fill in here, look around, and you can literally just step on it. If that's the one for you, just step on it. If you're sitting way in the back and you're like, I am not getting up there with those people, there's the images on the screen so you can pick them from there. Like, how does this take this long? You guys do real estate, right? Like, you know how to find the good ones? No, just kidding. So whether you're up on the screen or whether you found the image right here, I just want you to share in a sentence with the person next to you why you're picking that image, why that house represents you at the beginning of your career. Now, whether your career is 30 years long or it's been a week, so if it's been a week, this would be Monday, right? This house would represent Monday. So just why this image, this house, represents the beginning of your career. Share in a sentence with someone next to you and let them share with you. Ready, go. Awesome. I'm now going to invite you to come back to me. And now what I want you to do is I want you to pick a house that represents your career today. So if I could look and see your career in its fullness, January 2026. So go to it. So move to where it is. So either up there on the screen, or if you're up here with me, you can just go ahead and wander in here. So fine, just kind of let it settle. Take some different images in. The house that represents your career today, right now. And when you got it, share with someone next to you. So share with them why that house. All right, so I want you to come back to me. Last image I want you to pick is your career a year from now. So when I run into you and I'm like, hey, what's up? Didn't I see you at that Steve thing? And they're like, aren't you Steve? And I'm like, no, he's Steve and I'm Steve. We're both Steves. I'm the weird therapy one. He's the one you like. And we get there and I go, hey, how's it been? You go, I've had the best year. Everything I wanted to accomplish this year happened. And I were to pull these pictures out and go, show me. Show me what this looks like now. So the house building represents what you look like a year from now. Your career and all the things have happened that you have hoped, wanted, and worked to have happen. Ready, go. All right, complete that thought, and you can go ahead and head back to your seat. Unless you didn't like your seat, you can now steal someone else's. See what I did there? I was trying to help you out if you were late.
I like it.
Friend with the microphone. Ready, rock and roll. What was that experience like for you? Just raise your hand and we'll bring in the microphone. Just a couple of people. What that was like for you. Hold on. It's on that side. Yep.
It was
Awkward?
cool, but yeah, awkward. Just awkward. I don't know
How come?
everybody. I don't know everybody here, and it's just kind of, it's easier to stay in your rut than to jump out and play the game.
Agree. Anyone else?
It was helpful to see how far I've come in 23 years and to see where I'd like to go and just put that all in perspective. I thought it was helpful.
Right, after 23 years, you're just getting started now,
Yeah,
right?
just getting started.
So it's like, had a guy tell me that when I started developing. He's like, get about 20 years in, have some developments behind you, and then you can really kind of start cooking. I was like 6 months in. I was like, ooh, okay. Anyone else want to share? Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay, so however you connected with this, there's a bunch of psychology stuff behind it. But here's really my plight that I'm going to make to you. So all mental health stuff, right? Too often, so when people come to me, they always want tips, tricks, and tools. Say, Steve, so what are some tips, tricks, and tools? So you can get your notebook out right now and say, what are some tips, tricks, and tools for me to kind of unleash my emotional self and kind of like have an edge this year? And so we have actually a lot of research on motivation, and it doesn't work. And so the reason why is it takes an enormous amount of energy to motivate someone. And the return on that investment is short-lived. So if I say to you, hey guys, inside deal, just because you're at this McCleery thing, I've got a fourplex up in Sugar House, $1 million, and it kicks out $40,000 a year. Are you in? You want to buy it? Say no. There's your first real estate lesson. No, that's a terrible deal. But it produces $40,000. You don't want an asset that makes money?
Yes.
So what are you buying? Who said yes?
One that makes more money. I'm not.
Okay. Well, turns out I've got two of them. So $2 million, I'll get you $80,000.
Still no.
How much money you want?
18%.
18% of what?
2 million. And capital.
So y'all already know how to do this. You just got to do it emotionally. So a question I would ask you to take with you, where are you putting your emotional capital and where's the return on investment? Because how we most often look at like this scenario is, give me some tips, tricks, and tools, Steve, to get me that $40,000. Wrong answer. Now, if I told you I have a complete piece of shit out in Grantsville, I'll sell it to you for 10 grand, but the rents are $40K a year. You interested? Absolutely, right? So too often when we look at our emotional self, we're just looking at kind of that cash outpull. This is what everyone asks me all the time. How can I work more effective hours? How can I have my personal life not get in the way? How can I be more focused? How can I be more motivated and not as insecure? Just asking for the $40,000. Which is fine. And we all know some people who have entered real estate and they buy that deal, and their career is very short-lived, right? So we're going to look at one like why emotion matters. And instead of trying to motivate you, what I want to do is just give you some inspiration. So we have a ton of research on change, why people actually change. And the common belief by most people is that you change because life sucks. So to use vernacular from the 12 steps, rock bottom. It's become a very popular phrase. Everyone's heard, that's where it's from, is the 12 steps. And so what people think is, when it's bad enough, you'll change. So you're with your friend and they're working at a brokerage and you're like, man, they treat you terrible. When are you going to get out of there? And you leave lunch with them and you go, you know what? When it gets bad enough, that's when they will leave. So actually we have a ton of research on human behavior, and that's actually when no one ever leaves. When people actually enact change that lasts, and that's key in the research, change that actually lasts, it's not because it's bad enough, it's because they have hope for better. So being in the career lane I am in, I have watched people do incredible things vulnerably. It was vulnerable and awkward to get up here and engage and talk to some people. That's a vulnerable ask. You thought you were here to look at a PowerPoint and I asked you to do that. It's vulnerable. You will do vulnerable, out-of-the-box, courageous things. You'll call those landowners. You'll get those meetings. You'll call those investors. You'll pull the people in. You'll figure out your problems. You'll build new relationships. You have the courage to get rid of the relationships you should get rid of if you have hope for better. So I have no intention today of convincing you that you're emotionally checked out, that you're bad at doing it. It doesn't matter. Like, you need to get better, try harder. Woo! January, motivate up. No. My hope is to inspire and stir some things you already know. What I can tell you about all mental health growth is it's not addition. Any value you're going to get out of today or these concepts is not me getting something and giving it to you. It's actually me helping you be aware of what you're holding on to that you shouldn't be. It's not about addition, it's about subtraction. You do not need to do 5 new things starting today to increase your mental health or change the game for yourself. It was interesting because I know this truth, and you'll learn this about working with McCleery Company and Steve. A lot of times just in his inspiration, he just kind of like stumbles into it seems like. And then after you're like, oh my gosh, that's all so much in alignment. I just thought it was ironic when I sat here last month and he was like, hey, we're talking about unleash you, right? In order to unleash someone, do you need to give them new things? No. It's getting whatever's holding them back, tying them down off of them. So hopefully that's good news, that you don't have to do a ton of work and you don't have to walk out of here and take a half hour every morning to like hit your Zen in order to be emotionally more healthy or experience change. Come on, is that like a good news? Is that better? You thought you were getting that, yes? Raise a hand if you really thought that's what you were getting coming in here today. Yeah, you're not going to do it, but it's true. Okay, so emotion equals power. So this is the part that, in my opinion, this industry, and several other business industries do not understand. Everyone makes emotional decisions. So I started my career working in commercial brokerage, and any commercial guys in here that are like solely commercial on the commercial side? That's my guy up there. So here's what they do in commercial land for you residential guys. We all sit in those offices and we're like, oh my gosh, those idiots that sell houses. We work on all the big stuff. That's what they all do, in case you didn't know. Which I find ironic because there's like so many more dollars on the residential side, like industry-wide. But I was sitting with my buddy Preston, who's still a commercial broker today. And he's like, man, I'm so glad that I don't sell houses because like that's all emotional. And I'm glad I do the commercial stuff because people just do it by the numbers and don't make emotional decisions. And I remember at the time, I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because I had just the day before, I'm this young broker and I'm super excited. And I'm like, man, I've got this guy. He wants to buy a shopping center. He's in the $2 to $3 million range. Here's the return he's looking at. And then there's this center. It was listed by another guy in my office, so I kind of knew the deal, right? And I'm like, this fits all of his metrics and it's awesome. And it was sitting in Taylorsville. So I get with this guy at my office. I'm in my Toyota Corolla. I drive him. I'm like, hey, we're looking at this. And I'm like, and this is my ace in the hole. This is my like, and we're putting in an offer. We're here, right? And I remember driving there. We walked the property. He's like, this is a really great shopping center. And he's like, yep, saw the numbers. And he's like, yeah, this is really great. And I remember he stands there like this. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's too bad. We were close. And I'm like, and he says, yeah, I just won't own property on the west side. Great, let's get in the car. Gets in the car, drives away. So born and raised in Salt Lake, has a cultural emotional bias that I-15, if you're on the east side, it's more valuable, right? If you're on the west side, it's less valuable. If you lived here in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, that was super true. Right? So he just has that old school East Side or Salt Lake County mentality. It did not matter what the numbers were. So what I did not understand as a young broker is people make emotional decisions. So stat I have here on you. This is one of them. You find a million stats about eating food or doing golf with people. Why does that work? Why am I more likely to get you to say yes? More likely to negotiate with me? More likely to hire? So I do it. I hire therapists all the time. And do you know what I do? If we decide we want them, I go to dinner with their spouse. So we take them to a nice dinner because whatever they weren't telling me about them, I find out in the first 20 minutes. Because food is an activating emotional experience. Top golf is an activating emotional experience. So that's an example. You guys already use emotion every day to influence and change the dynamics of what you're trying to work on. So again, I don't have to add anything to you, right? We're just going to unleash some things. You're already doing it. So if you're like, I don't know that I want to do all this emotional stuff. Does this really matter? Can we get back to talking about stuff that actually gets us deals? It does. It influences and changes people. So you do have to get very close. Okay, so to convince you of it, I'm going to make you feel a specific emotion right now. Like Houdini. Are you ready? Wait, in case I didn't get you. Bro, I know I got you. You're wearing the hat. You got the matching kicks. Okay, let me try again. Tell me about the laughter. I just like your laugh and your smile. Tell me what the laughter's about. Yep. So did I influence you to feel something? Were you thinking about geopolitics and our president and past president 5 minutes earlier when we were sitting here? So what catalytic influence made you think that? How valuable would it be to you to be able to make people you're transacting, working with, partnering with, think and feel a certain way? I would imagine that would have some value to your bottom line, your influence, and how you're connecting, right? So, quote to back it up, Nobel Prize winner, right? So, are they all getting this presentation after?
Yes.
Okay. So so don't worry about writing all these quotes down there. So he's a Nobel Prize winner, right? So he spent his entire career, what he won a Nobel Prize for, was understanding the psychological effects of emotional and decision-making processes. So that's like a PhD way to say what he was doing, right? But there's your quote. So emotions are the most important. You all have read it, right? But of making good decisions. So according to all of his research, and he did a ton of business stuff, Nobel Prize winner, researcher, guy's actually boring as hell in real life. But what he gained from all of the data is the most valuable and important asset when I'm choosing a relational experience with someone or working decision making is their emotional response and the emotional thing taking place, right? So think about where you sat in this room. From people sitting on the front row to my people chilling in the back. You chose your level of engagement, right? I came and sat in the back when I came last month because I kind of don't care. I don't do real estate anymore. I was here to observe the environment, whatever. So I subconsciously said, oh, I'll just sneak back here in the back, kind of be here to kind of be like on the edge of the group, right? That's an emotional decision. So when you go to meet with people at the city and you walk in to ask what the zoning is and if you can actually get on the docket this month and not next month, how you emotionally show up is going to influence the outcome of that experience. Make sense? So, a couple other things connected to that, right, is our ability to connect. So there's research around vibration, one of Steve's favorite words, right? So you can call it a gut feel, you can call it a sense, right, of what that's like. But if I use, so I got your name because you walked in, it was Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Bailey, are you comfortable with how close I'm standing to you?
Sure.
Okay. How about now?
Less comfortable, for sure.
Great. How about now? Do you want the presentation from back here? No. How do you know that?
Just the way it feels.
The way it feels, right? So just like my client who said, great shopping center, I don't buy stuff on the west side. It was a feel, right? So that feel, we actually can study it. That vibration we can know. And what we've learned is in all the things we can vibrate off to people, all of the vibes we can give out to people, do you know which one is the strongest? All the different emotions.
Positive or negative?
All of it.
All of
The one, fear is not it.
Love.
It is not love.
Gratitude.
It's not gratitude, it's not peace.
Excitement.
Nope.
Safety.
Nope.
Indifference.
Nope.
Hope.
Nope. Authenticity. The biggest read that everyone has on you all of the time, subconsciously, is how authentic you are. So I will tell you, this is one of Steve McCleary's golden secrets, why he invited me here. He's serious. No, like honestly, I've met him, I've known him for years. When he's like, how can we be a blessing in your life? And you're like, okay, guy, cool tactic anyways, what are you asking me? Right? No, he's actually serious. And that's what's led to so much of his success. And whether your authentic self is Steve McCleary, as long as it's a blessing to you, I'll get mine, and has this altruistic, abundant life, or whether your authenticity is that you are a total poser, faking it, and the truth is, I'm totally just in this for me. The quicker you can get to where you authentically are, the stronger influence and connection you will have with those you interact with. So when you show up to a city meeting and you're like, honestly, I think all these people are idiots. They know. And even when they don't consciously know, they know. When you walk in, you're like, hey, Bob, Gary, Janet, Matt, so good to see you. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us. They know you're lying. Even if they cannot, and this is the research, we have all the research on, that's where quotes come from. Even if they cannot cognitively say, hey, this guy's just pretending to be nice because he's pissed that we didn't approve his deal and is trying to change our minds. Even if they're not cognitively present to that, their emotional response instantly knows. And they are acting out of that emotional response. The same way with my friend with the good smile here that I'm like, yep, you're thinking about the presents now. And he's like, no, I am. Yeah, I have feelings about this. I don't even want to look at the other one, right? He didn't choose to go there. Because of my vibration and how I showed up, I put him there. And now he's responding to my push on him emotionally. So whether they realize it or not when you're interacting with people, because this is the biggest mistake my business friends make. The biggest ones who struggle with this are people in the entertainment industry. Right? So when I work with people who are actors and news anchors, they're like, no, I can totally fake it. And I'm like, you cannot. And that's the difference between why Tom Hanks has won all the awards he has and the person on the local sitcom cannot move up. Because even from a distance on the TV, we're like, I believe you, Tom, that you were on that desert island, and when that wilts and falls into the ocean, that you actually feel like you grieved the only person who kept you sane. Because he can so readily actually get to an authentic experience that we're willing to pay him millions and millions of dollars. That is no different than the real estate industry. When you look at the people who mentored you, who are successful, what you enjoy and experience about them is their authenticity. Are you all here because you think Steve McCleery is the smartest guy in the room and knows the smartest people? No! You're here because you trust him. There is something about the light and truth and experience you've had here with him that you're like, I think he actually is abundant. I think he cares to help me, and who doesn't want help and want to move forward? So I'm gonna, sure, I'll come to this thing for an hour and a half in the middle of my day when I could be doing a ton of things to help my business, a ton of things to go make some more deals or solve some problems on a development I have. But I'm going to take the time to be here because of that authentic vibration he's putting out. So here's the catch, right? So research on nervous system. So Deb Dana and several people, this comes from how your nervous system responds. So everything from Fortune 500 executives to PTSD war veterans sitting in a VA. So their data goes across the entire board. And this is what they learned about our emotional experience. That when we're not able to actually act authentically or speak into it or name it or move, where do you think it goes? So if you think I'm super boring and this is a complete waste of your time, and you don't say that to anyone, where does that emotional energy go? By the way, you're welcome to text me and be like, your presentation sucks, if you need to get it out. I'm a therapist, I can hold it. So, right, where does that energy go? If you got in an argument with your spouse or children or roommate or whoever last night, knockdown, drag out. Screw you. Screw you. Steve's like, I had one of those. I had one like 2 nights ago, right? Screw you. And you just go to bed. Tell me where that energy went. Where'd that emotion go? You absorb it. It stays here. So all of the research is it stays here. So here's the problem with that. So trauma, I'm using a big blanket word for any emotion you have unprocessed. So it doesn't mean you were raped and beat as a kid. It can also mean that. But all it really means in the research is I didn't complete an emotional process. You do not need to become a therapist, go to graduate school, or do anything. You now know everything you need to know about trauma. It actually is that simple, despite what anyone in my industry tells you. They're all idiots. It is that simple. Okay. Damn it, I'm being recorded. I normally don't say stuff like I'm being recorded. Okay, so right, trauma compromises our ability to engage with others by replacing patterns of connection with patterns of protection. So the problem is, we're close. Nope, maybe. Okay, so the problem is, think of your emotional capacity like a river. Like imagine time in a day, right? So I have this much emotional capacity. But when I have the argument last night with my wife and it's taking emotion, it's like throwing a rock in that river. And so it starts to compress, right? Think of like a pipe being crimped, or that picture, my ability to process more emotion. So if I let some of that build up over time, instead of showing up to an event like this and saying, I'm fully available to connect in all the ways, because there might be someone in here who it actually is important for you to network with and will be significant for the next month, 6 months, or the entirety of your career, right? Or you might need to have the emotional vibration that this is a complete waste of time and you should totally just be sending some emails on your phone while you're sitting here. Whatever it is, you need that emotional capacity, right? Because as I've already proved to you, everyone knows whether you can show up or not. So when that starts to get crimped, I start to protect myself. I start to say, instead of wanting to be open and connect with you, I've got to limit what happens here because I've got limited capacity. So it might be really great for you and I to connect, but I just don't have time for that shit. Because it's like this, and I have a ton of stuff I got to get through here. I got emails I got to send later. Turns out my wife is still pissed from last night. I've got some deal melting down. So this might be a really good moment, and you might be the next deal that makes the second half of my year. But I don't have time for that right now because I do not have capacity to emotionally process what is going on. My capacity is limited because I got a bunch of crap in the way that I never got downstream. Make sense? So, to hit you with the research, so Bessel van der Kolk, huge, massive study. So he's a medical doctor who then did therapy. So he looked at this all through. So all of his research, millions and millions of dollars in research, because he shortens times that people spend in the hospital. So you can imagine that's worth a lot of money if you can get people in and out quicker and charge them the same amount. So all the research comes, so this is from his book, tons of studies. It's super boring, but if you want to get all into it, this is the one book I would tell you to read. It's like 600 pages, and he has all of the references and academic studies. So as long as you keep secrets and suppress information, you are fundamentally at war with yourself. And it takes an enormous amount of energy to manage that, to hold that. Because look, right now, I'm speaking right now today. I need 100% of that river flowing to be present with you, to get my message out, and to create something that's valuable for you. Do I have space right now to be wondering out whether or not Callie is still pissed from last night because I messed up the kids' schedule thing? No, I got limited run here. If that's taking up space, I have less space with you here today. Make sense? So I still have to be here today, so I have to push the water through faster. That's exhausting. Do you know the number one reason why everyone falls out of this industry in particular? It has a much lower success rate than most business industries. I'm assuming you already know that, right? Burnout is significantly higher. Do you know what the cause is? Say it loud.
Financial.
Nope. That's what everyone thinks. Financially, the deals take too long. Go ahead, go talk to 20 mentors in this business and say, what do I need to know when I start? And what they're going to tell you is, hey, it's going to take a couple years before you really get there. Do you know what the success rate is of people in this industry who just don't quit it? Do you want to know from an actual study? 78%. That's insane. That's not the number of doctors, attorneys, or insurance salesmen who make it. And it's like 100% commission, super cutthroat maverick industry. It's known for that, right? Being extremely entrepreneurial, and it comes and it goes, and the market and all that, right? The number one cause of that burnout is emotional stress. I have too many rocks in the river. I'm sitting here for the first year of or 10 years of my career, shoving all the water through, and I just can't do it anymore. So I want to go work at some dead-end job where I just push a button and they pay me less and I'll be dead inside, but at least I won't be completely exhausted emotionally anymore. Sound familiar to anyone you know who has left this industry? Anyone have that friend? I have like 10 of them, right? So we want to be able to vibrate with people. We want to be able to, I'm a therapist, so I'll just be honest, emotionally manipulate people to get what I want from them. You have the power to do that. Now, like Steve, he's the real deal. You have to decide who you are. Are you going to manipulate people for good or for bad? One of my close colleagues says he had this drug addiction for 10 years and all this messed up stuff. And he's like, oh, I've manipulated people my whole life. I still am. I just now do it for good. Right? I was 100% manipulating you. I'm not stupid. I know what happens if I walk in a room and I put up a picture of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I know exactly what I'm doing, right? But hopefully I'm doing it for good, right? For you to have awareness of your emotional experience. So you are manipulating people all the time with your emotion. But as you get aware of it and you get some capacity, you can start to do it with intention and in alignment with what you're actually trying to do. So here's my promise to you, and you might be living in this today, or this might be news to you. But every lie that you tell, and let me be clear what I mean by a lie. When I know this is where I'm at authentically, I hate this city. I hate these two planners I'm meeting with. They're idiots. They're the worst city I have ever worked with. And what they're holding up on my permits is ridiculously unreasonable, and they know it. And they're just being tools like we're in a freaking Park and Recs episode. Honest. A lie. Janice, John, so good to see you. I mean, thanks for taking the time to meet with me. That's what I mean by a lie. So every lie we tell incurs a debt to the truth. Sooner or later, that debt will be paid. It won't maybe be paid. It not might be paid. So let me tell you in your industry who comes and meets with me when the debt's up. There are very few people who call me who say, you know what, I'm really kind of in optimized empowerment stage. And I'd really like to move forward in that. They don't call me. It's going good enough, they're fine. Here's when they call me. My partner just found out that I stole $2 million from him on a project. Shit's hit the fan. I'm not okay, so I think I might need like a therapy coach guy. But it was like 3 months ago, actual phone call. Yeah, so in the different industry, but same vibe. Right, so that's the experience, right? Hey, I've made tons of money, but the stress is not worth it, and I've realized I'm super unhappy. And I'm 23 years in or 10 years in, and I'm like, cool, and who cares? I probably should figure something out. So every time we step out of that authenticity, it's a lie. It's dishonest. Whether other people know it or not, it will catch up to you. And we have a bunch of research about when you burn a bunch of people, how you get a reputation and it follows you. You all know that guy. I can tell you, I can name 10 commercial brokers right now I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. No one else will. And they keep just having to narrow and find like the only 5 people in the market who don't know their reputation. Right? Y'all know the people I'm talking about, right? And so it will catch up. So when I talk about getting it off of you, to unleash yourself to be free, all I'm talking about is setting the lies down and getting back to honest. It's okay that you think the people of the city are idiots. But here's my question for you. Is that who you want to be? Does that align? I'm with Steve. Whatever your values are, they are. I'm cool with it. Is that your values? To just name call people and tear them down? Is that what you want to teach your kids? Is that what you want people to say at your funeral? Hey, you know what? John was honestly a total son of a bitch and a real bulldog, but gosh, he could push people into doing a deal. Not sorry he's gone. So that language might feel authentic, but then you can say, in my authenticity, how do I want to show up to this meeting with the city? And what that could sound like is, hey, John and Janice, this has been a struggle for me. And I imagine if it's been a struggle for me, it's been a struggle for you. What I make up is that when you see that I'm on your calendar, you're like, it's the guy on the Green Street property again. And I'm probably ruining your day. So you hate this, I hate this, but there's a lot in this for me, and problems do have to be solved. So knowing that none of us want to be here, can we try and move this forward so we can quit having these meetings? Because you don't want to be here and neither do I. Can we work to a solution? Can you feel how different that vibration is? And again, whether you have like a moral compass or not, it actually doesn't matter. I am far more likely to get what I want from those individuals at the city. Significantly so. And the part that matters a lot for me, for you guys, is it actually is going to take way, way less energy. So if you are super stressed out, it's not because of your workload, you're just doing it wrong. And that's not me saying, hey, you need to do 2 less projects. Hey, the people you're working with are pushing you too far, or this industry's too stressful for you. You don't have what it takes. Nope. The questions I'm going to ask you, what I do with all, because I work with a ton of people, and this is me trying to be cool and flex. This is me being honest. I work with a ton of people who are elitely successful. They are beyond successful. And the math is the same every time with every damn one of them. It doesn't matter if it's some guy had a housing developer who, I don't know, is maybe worth $5-10 million bucks, builds homes up in Heber, right? Whether it's him or my oil guy down in Texas, that his share of the family business he got out of, $4 billion. The math is the exact same. The question always to ask yourself is, what do you need to get out of the way? What's in the way? What are you holding on to? What are you being dishonest about? And I will tell you a catalytic event in my life, and I tell this story when he was not even here. I'm a real estate guy. My dad was a commercial broker forever, in the blood, in my family. I'm sitting in a meeting with Steve McCleery, and what are you doing here? Because I have this whole recovery story in my personal life, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go back and get a graduate degree to be a therapist. I'll do some groups online, and I was running this nonprofit on the side. I'm like, I want to do nonprofits, but I'm a real estate guy. I'm going to be independently wealthy when I'm 50, right? And so I'm doing all the things, right? And I remember when he said to me, he's like, why are you here? In Steve's authenticity, and he said it to me, he's like, you're doing a ton for me. I would love to keep you. You're good at what I've hired you to do. But Steve knew if he talked me into staying working for him, he would have left his authenticity, left his values, and been in a lie. He would have incurred debt because I was a valuable asset on his team. Instead of saying authentically what he did say to me, why are you here? I think you're doing it wrong. At that time, I'm like, no. And he's like, well, you go think about it. And it was what? Not even 2 weeks that I was like, I'm out of here. Love my real estate people. I will never do a deal again, and haven't. Because it wasn't fully in alignment with my authenticity. So here's what I want everyone in this room to know. Just because you're being successful on paper doesn't mean you're being authentic. It's really about your life satisfaction and if you're happy, not about the next million or the next deal. There's always another deal. There's always another million. Someone has a bigger stack than you. To quote my dad who's passed away, who was a great broker, you will never have enough money to fund your own ego. It just has to be in an authentic place. Fair? You raised your hand and had a question and I kept rambling.
So my question was just going to be, so I feel like I'm 100% authentic. Like I've told them I've tried everything. Maybe my air is just still making derogatory comments here and there. But that's out of the frustration. So I was just going to ask, so how do you resolve that, And you kind of explained it, but it's my head's still spinning trying to figure out.
Yeah, context is unique for everyone, right? And so I obviously can't speak to the context of what, like if we sat and talked for an hour, I could. Yeah. But again, it's where you're going to be happy, right? So let's say this deal blows up and you lose $1 million, right? That might happen regardless. But if you're in your authentic state, you'll be in alignment with this part of your career history and life story, right? I'm not mad that that guy didn't buy that shopping center in Taylorsville. Yeah, that day I was, for sure. But I also learned a lot, right? I'm now using it as a story here talking to you today, right? And so it's really in that authenticity, right? Which, by the way, how we get there is being vulnerable. And to your point, that quote would be my answer to you. It's not about winning or losing. When I really do vulnerability, by the way, when you say, how do I be authentic? My answer to you is to be vulnerable. When I really do vulnerability, it has a risk. And the risk is I cannot control the outcome. When I get big and mean and bully people, or I get deceptive and dishonest, I'm attempting to control a situation. I'm attempting to force people to do something. What we know in the research is that works at a very limited scope. The success is short, fleeting. It's not actually a winning strategy. If you're playing a game 10 times in a row, that is a losing strategy. Even if it's not the same people, just playing that way. You lose more often. When I play vulnerable, you win more often. So you might lose on this deal. The city might be inept, they might double down, they might be unwilling, and there might be the right legal language in place to just screw you, nail you to the wall, and you're just F-U-C-K. That could be true. I don't know the context, right? But whether you're failing or having success, when you're in your authenticity, you'll still feel that flow, the weight it's having on you. So if you and I were sitting, my question would be, does this feel historical? And so looking at, so really quick, it works. When you actually do your emotional stuff, it works. So there's the results from a bunch of data. So this is data we actually have. You'll get this slideshow. This is actual clients who have been clients that accepted, who came and did trauma work and checked in on surveys with us over a year later, 2 years, because we did over 3 years. So some of these people we'd have 2 years data on. So that's not from some study at Harvard of random people in a box. These are real people that all look like me and you, have lives like me and you. So to answer your question, how do I know if I'm being vulnerable? How do I know if I'm doing the best that I can and then surrender the rest? So how I know is if I'm flowing, but what if there's a rock in the way? Am I pissed at these people in the city, or am I pissed at the fact that my dad never loved me? I don't know how to figure it out. Am I pissed that this deal went bad, or am I pissed that my broker's a jerk? And all the times he's ridden on me the 5 years I've worked here. How do I know the difference? And this is how. So if someone cuts me off in traffic and flips me the bird, if I look at this as a scale of activation, let's say that's like a 5. I know. Guy in the back, am I lined up with that heart? Yeah. Sweet. So if I run him down, pull him out of his truck, beat him almost to death, and get arrested, am I overreacting to what happened? That was close. I was worried someone was going to be like, yes, good job. No, just kidding. Right? So what I know is everything between 5 and 10 is historical. If it's hysterical, it's historical. It means it's a rock in the river. It means you should call me. You should talk to your friends. You should go to your church. You should lean into the close relationships. That's how you know this isn't about these people in the city. This is my crap that keeps coming up in my life, stopping me from being emotionally powerful and unleashing myself and getting where I want to go. I need to get these rocks out of my river. There's a bunch of different ways to do that. Therapy and otherwise. Or I can underreact. So if you were to say, I'm totally getting screwed by a deal in the city, it's going to cost me millions of dollars. Oh, well, I'll just ignore everything about it and let the dollars go out of my bank account and do nothing. Does that feel like a healthy reaction to that situation? No. So whether it's an underreaction or an overreaction, ask yourself and the people close to you, does my reaction and how I'm showing up make sense? Is it fair that I am pissed about this? Yeah, to me, that's not a 5. That feels more 9, 10 when we talked about your deal last time. It feels like life-altering big, like a big deal. I think it should keep you up at night. That feels like a normal. If you were like, I don't care, I'd be like, are you awake? Right? But when I see those moments, so my favorite is we do it with kids. So I know you've all done this the same way I do this. Your kids are acting bad and they're yelling or whatever, and you do, stop yelling! Stop yelling at your little brother! Your behavior is so inappropriate! That's the knowing laughter, right? Okay, it's not just me, right? That's when you know. That's why you can take those moments of those who are close to you, right? That's why connection's important, right? What will everyone tell you? What makes you successful in this business? Relationships, right? So talk to the people around you. Is this really a 9? Or is this crap from somewhere else? And I need to go figure that out. Is this a rock in the river, or is this accurate to where I am? That's how you can know, am I really stepping into vulnerability, or is this some rock in the river that's getting in the way? Make sense? You keep the rock out of the river by processing it in real time. Rocks only get in the river when I shove it down. My dad died last year in August from cancer. I'm 37. Not great. Yeah, that alters you when you drive up to the ICU at the U to sit there at nights with him over and over again. And I don't know if he's going to be dead now or has another 5 years. So I don't know if I should like super care and check in and do the grief thing, or if the fact that I'm super busy, I can just not go up there this week. Because the truth is, this is the next 5 years of my life. And not knowing that, yeah, that sucks. Life has its up and downs. People who are successful and happy and fulfilled in their career and personal life, because turns out they're not different, they process the emotion in real time. They choose the vulnerability, process it in real time. Why I think you should care is because it gives you power. Does that make sense? So I want to give you a tangible way to kind of connect to this as we kind of end, and then I can take some questions if you want. Help me with some folks in the back. Just hand some folks a clipboard. Pass them to a couple friends there in the back. Bum, bum, bum. You guys see some there. Catch some guys in the middle. Pick a color, pass one down. Do I totally want to Oprah and just start throwing markers at people and be like, you get a car, you get a car? I really do. I'm going to grab a handful. Okay. So you can share this with other people or not. I'm good either way. I recommend that you do share it with someone close to you, or you can even do it with someone here. We won't have time to share with everybody here, and I won't put you on the spot. But you just need a marker on that clipboard. Everybody got it? Look at me funny if you don't have it. Marker and a clipboard. Look at these guys. Or if you're like, this is stupid, I'm not doing this, that's fine too. Okay, so this is what we call, that we do with people, so I do this a lot of my people, is a hero's journey. Because guess who's going to change your life? You! You're the hero in your own story. So there's some different types of people that have as heroes. If you don't know, this is Rosa Parks. If you didn't know that, shame on you, know your American history. Okay, so Wonder Woman, everyone knows what, like, pretty bad. Okay, we got it. All right. Frodo is pretty baller too. I know he's the little guy, but don't hate on that. So what I want you to do, and I'll show you an example up here. So this is from an actual client. So in the bottom left-hand corner, I want you to draw yourself today. Just illustrate yourself. So like that, stick figures is fine. Ready, go. And don't worry, you're going to have like 2 hours to complete this. I'm just kidding. We're going to take like 60 seconds. Do you want a clipboard? And we did not have one for you.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I don't know where the big ones are. Can we score your extra markers? I don't know where the big ones are hiding. Okay, bottom left-hand corner, illustrating yourself today. Got it? Okay, now I'm going to tap into that authenticity because I'm going to be super honest. I am here because I know who Steve McCleery is. I actually don't really like speaking at crap like this, and it's like not on mission for me because what happens is I get contracted to do this, and then they want me to talk about tips, tricks, and tools and not get real with people. And then I'm like, this is not authentic. I'm not going to sit here and give people crap that doesn't work so you can all pat yourselves and say like, we checked in and did our mental health and got motivated. So I'm not in that club. I hate those people. And so from an authentic space, I'm here because of who Steve is. And I'm going to make up something about you because I experienced a lot of you as a group last time. You are here because you're a game changer. You are here because what you're doing matters. Not just dollars and cents. I hope all of you make a ton of money. I do. And are uber successful. but it's even beyond that. There's something going on in your life right now. There's a reason you're here. You're not here to make more money out of this media network. You're here to grow. There's something that attracted you here. Something is calling you and is going to change you this year, and it's possible. I'm not going to add something to you. I'm going to unleash what you already have in there. In the top right corner, I want you to illustrate what you look like at the end of this year. As the kids would say, on God, no cap. Meaning anything is possible. I do not want you to put a limit to it. I'm going to let you know a little trick of the trade. You can't draw something that is not already manifested in you. It's actually literally impossible for you to do. So if you put it down on that piece of paper, that means it's already inside of you. That's not us making something up and wishful thinking. It means that it's already in there. You just need to unleash it. So no ceiling, no cap. You, a year from now, if I were to run into you and be like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, dude, you have no idea the year I've had. Everything has happened. If that happened, ready, go. Illustrate that. Give you like 60 seconds. Up there in the top corner. Like that. It's just an illustration. It's an expression for you. So don't have any art shame. I think the contract to be a junior high or elementary art teacher is like, are you willing to just endlessly shame innocent children? Absolutely. That's why I'm here. You get the job. By the way, creativity is a huge way to tap into unleashing yourself and opening yourself up. So absolutely, if you had everything that you wanted, if you were fully alive, fully connected, life was just rich and abundant for you, what does that look like? You got 10 more seconds. Don't worry, I'm letting you take it home. You can work on it later. It's actually a great exercise to just do often. Every 6 months, once a year. So now, in like 10 seconds, trusting your gut, I want you to show the journey in between. So it might be like steps. It might be like real low and then pop up, like you're watching Tesla stock, right? Or, right, it might look like that it wanders. It might have breaks in it. Ready, go. Just like in 10 seconds, what is this journey going to look like for you? You already know it's in your body. Just put it on the paper. Trust your hand. Between the two. Show me the journey between the two. Like a kid doing a maze. Draw the line. You got to get from point A to point B. Great. Now, along that journey, I want you to illustrate. Don't use words. That doesn't get us in that subconscious part where you unleash the truth about what's going on inside you. Words don't do that. They keep you in your head. So, again, illustrate. I want you to illustrate along that journey like this client did here. No more than 5. But no less than 3 experiences you need to have along this journey. So think about if we use Lord of the Rings. Frodo's hanging out in the Shire. That's the picture in the bottom left. We get to the end. He's dropping the ring in Mordor. And we're doing the thing, right? What happened in the middle, right? We got to do the thing where he's like, we're going to die. And then Aragorn's there. What did he need to experience, right? He had to get the fellowship. Right? They had to find Gollum. So what are the things? It might be a mountain you need to climb. It might be an idea you need to finally find. It might be a little library or a book, right? Something you need to learn or know. It might be a hospital representing something you need to get fixed or visit, get a rock off of you. Could be a maze you need to go through. I had one bodybuilder who did it as a blender, and they said, I need to get the right ingredients of my personal life. I don't have the right ingredients. They did that. So whatever illustrations you want to do, right? It might be a legal contract or situation you need to get over and done with, right? So I want you to illustrate those. So at the end, when you look at this later today, I want you to give this hero's journey a title. Like if it were a book or a movie, what's it called? What's the title of this journey that you're going to go on this year? So it's your journey. I'm not going to name it for you. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to let everyone eat pizza unless you want to ask questions. We have a little bit of time to do some questions, is I'm going to tell you this. I do not care. I don't care who you are. I don't care how your life goes. It is indifferent to me. You learn to do this as a therapist because I have people sit in front of me all the time who say they want to change and they have no intention to. What I think about you does not matter. What you think about me does not matter. What other people in this room think about your career success is completely irrelevant and will do nothing for you. But what I do know is you have an authenticity in you. There have been moments just looking at your faces that I'm like, what is your deal? I don't care, but there's something in me that I just want to sit with you at lunch and be like, what's your deal? Like, I just want to know about your authenticity. Like, you have been vulnerable sitting here with me. I've seen it in your face. And what I know is you were made correctly. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm going to let you on a newsflash. Whether you've been doing this for 3 days or 23 years, you have what it takes. If you are unhappy, you do not have to be. You have the power to change it. I'm also going to lean on the fact that nobody else does. They're never going to do it for you. Even that, Steve didn't do it for me. I had to be like, cool, dude, I'm walking away from this and doing my thing. He's like, this is true. Steve and I've had 3 or 4 other sections. He's like, this is true. And I'm like, whatever, Steve. And I still got to do it myself, right? And here's what I want to guarantee you. Healing's possible. It's real. When you change your life, you will change the lives around you. You will build wealth and you will build a legacy. Your life will have substance and matter. You matter. What you're doing right now matters. It is worth you taking the work and time to be authentic and have the hard conversations with yourself and do whatever you need to do to get the shit off of you and be yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. So I have no dialogue to tell you that you all need to go to therapy because you're super screwed up, you're stressed out, workaholics in an entrepreneur land, and you need to try harder and get it together. You need to stop doing all the stuff everyone else is telling you to do and pay attention to that authentic knowing inside you and do everything you can to live out of that place. And if you have some rocks in the way that have put you in a state of stress, that are shutting you down or moving it, do something about it. That can be, I've had people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in therapy, completely changing their life. And I know people like Steve. Steve, I'm going to let you know a secret. Steve's like, I love your sauce. He won't come do any of our stuff. I'm like, Steve, you need to slow down and come to our Hawaii trauma training. He's like, I really should. But what I know about Steve is I'm like, your path was different. Because Steve has a bunch of the markers and things I've seen of the most successful people. He did it a different way, right? Through a very heavily spiritual path. I've seen people do it in church. I've seen people do it in nature. I've seen people do it with good friends and coworkers. But please, do something about the freaking rocks. You don't have to have them. They're probably not even yours. Someone else gave them to you as hurt people, and they dumped it on you and you took it when you didn't need to. Serious, I've probably summed up your whole life. Do something about it if they're in the way. You have a right to be authentically you. The world needs you. I promise. Guarantee. Send me a text in a year and let me know how the journey went. End of speech.
Appreciate Steve for who he is, not just success, and he does have a ton of accolades.
Sorry, really quick, I'm going to say something very good. If you texted me a question, time management, and I'm not going to take your time being here, I will totally text you back a response. So if you've asked me a question, I will get you a response. So if you're like, thanks for sending that text, dude, and ignoring me, ooh, that felt safe. I will absolutely text you a response. And I don't mean 3 months from now. In the next 48 hours, I'll get you a response to your question. Fair? Or you can come up and talk to me after if you want. Okay,
and he's worth it. I surround myself, I call it my ecosystem. It harvests who I am and what my family is. And I want you to understand I don't waste my bandwidth with individuals and people that aren't in alignment with their purpose and meaning. So what he's talking to is he understands the prayerful nature of my life and my effort that I'm exuding to try to fulfill on my obligation to unleash me and let my light shine and be the impact that God intended me to be. That's my pursuit. And so I want to show you something really quick, and then we're going to close out. So I don't just talk and tell people to do things that I'm not doing myself personally. And I have been to Steve, and we've done exercises together. I haven't gone to one of his retreats. But the cool part about this conversation that we're having is me and him have been colliding for a while. And one of the things that I've wanted to do is figure out how, because people come to me and they're like, why are you successful? How did you make the $1 million? How did you do this, right? They're asking me that stuff. And what I realized is that, like, I had to open myself up. I had to make myself available for everybody else. They can't tap a resource that's untappable. You're the resource. God intends you to be a success. Look at all the all the grass blades to, like, whatever you want to look at in life, there's a ton. There's not a lot of yous, though. There's only one, and that's intended. And that's really, really valuable and really, really important. So what I do to keep that in front of my mind, this is my basics, how to keep my life in balance, kind of checklist and different things. These are all my priorities. I have this and I carry it with me because, and in fact, Steve, I'm going to show you, there's our exercise, bro.
I remember that one, yeah.
But this is me. Who are you playing for? I keep this with me because I want, right? I want everything for this guy. So does God. And so it gets me in alignment in the right headspace. Okay? And then I have stories, which I wrote my own story. I said, hi, my name is Steve McCleery. My story goes like this. Then I have a whole page. If I don't define it, who is? So I did that. Then what I did is I went to the bench. All of us have bench. We all have support. We all have people. And I asked them to write up their story about how they feel and see me being successful. So I went to my parents, I went to whatever. Go to your places to find your authenticity. And one of the things that I've learned in this whole process is that it's true. I hate land development. Hate everything about it. Luke, he's a homie of mine now. Means the world to me. He stepped in at the right time, helped me kind of divest myself a little bit from having to be full in development all day, every day, because I needed a halftime. But the reason I actually appreciated land development and have still a place of love in it, and I actually still do it every day, okay, truthfully, is because I learned that what it does, because it is hard, is it surfaces stuff. And God's intended it to be a venue to help me better me, unleash me. It's the stuff that chisels away at my issues, okay? And so one of the things that we're working on is we're coming up and I've been trying to put together a school that teaches all the secret sauce. This is part of it. Guys, I hear it now and I don't want to hear it. I'm not trying to pitch you. I'll never pitch you. You pitch you. You decide what's of value. I'm just giving you my cards and saying, is this something that you want to pick up or not? Is this something that I can bless you with or not? And it's totally up to you guys. That's why this is free. Because everybody has their story and their journey. My job is not to encumber it. I'll be your doormat if that's what God intends me to be. I don't really care. I'm not chasing money. Because no U-Haul chases a hearse. Does any of that matter in 1,000 years? When I die, can I look at my bank and go, dude, I balled. Let me in. It's not how it works. That stuff just falls. It comes, it goes like your little journeys. You guys understand that instinctively. But what sticks is you. So that's why it matters. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to put together a plan or something that talks to that. I was talking to him about the school and the different things we're doing. And one of the things I said, I don't want to be the bishop's office per se. I don't want to be the group per se. I just want to be a venue on an individual level for somebody to scale and be a success, if that's available. So we're going to work and put together an offering of some sort in the future time frame that allows you guys to have a retreat per se, leadership stuff that unleashes you. We don't have that today. I'm just saying, stick around. If there's a vibration here that's of value to you and we can be of a blessing, pursue that. I was in one meeting with an individual. I was in a meeting like this and there were hundreds, okay? And in that meeting, my wife was sitting next to me. We had no money, nothing. And the day before, I'd been sitting by myself in this meeting. It was a several-day thing. And I felt impressed that I had to buy whatever it is that I was in. And I was like, man, it's not possible. It's impossible. My wife comes the second day and sits with me. And as we're walking out, she's like, I don't know what you got to do. But you have to buy. And what I didn't understand is I thought at the time I was buying them, but I was buying me. I was buying me. God gives us resources for us. Not just for everybody else, but for us too. He cares about you. So if there's something here as you're hanging around us, find out what it is. I don't care what it is. But find out for you. Okay? We've brought pizza. We're going to hang it out right here where Steve's sitting. Okay? Find us. Talk to us. Connect with us. Kaysen, raise your hand, please. Kaysen's my guy in the back. Schedule a time with me. Whatever you guys need to do, send him a message. I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing, right? We're not the same individual. We don't talk the same, but we're brothers 100%. I'm sold out for him. Okay? Thanks for coming. Appreciate you guys taking the time. Don't leave without pizza. Okay? Is that cool?
And do bring your marker and clipboard back, please. They love me. They want to come home.
And finish
Unless
those
like you
later.
really need it, then take it with you. If you've bonded with it, if that emotional vibration's there, you need it to work out some more rocks, then by all means take it with you.